Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to Clovis, March the 18th, 2026. I am Manila Chan. That's Ted Rall. You're tuned into the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short, because we bring you way too much information. We do it live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So please be sure to hit the like, the follow, the share, and the subscribe button, most importantly. So smash that thumbs up button to help our little show continue to grow. And especially if you want, look at a sleepy, tubby Clovis.
Yeah, he is sleepy. He's like,
He's
he's like, I can smell the sleepy gases like wafting off his belly.
There's sleepy gas?
Oh yeah, no, like mammals exude like literally like gases when they sleep and when they're sleepy. That's why when you walk into a room where someone's sleeping or they're about to sleep, you'll sort of get like this urge to like lie down and sleep. It's contagious.
Really?
Yeah, like if I walk into a room where Clovis he's been sleeping, I'm like,
you
oh,
feel
man,
sleepy?
I want a nap.
You get
Yeah.
sleepy?
Yeah, I want to like lie next to
Really?
him.
I gotta look that up. Is that really a thing?
It's a real thing. Yeah, it's science.
Like I know, for example, with like newborn babies, they give off the pheromones.
Totally.
And especially, I mean, men can smell it, but it triggers something different for women. And when you sniff a newborn baby or a new baby, when they still have the new baby smell, you do get the urge to like, the girls want to lactate. You're like,
my mom said that when she was lactating, if she heard a baby cry like at the supermarket, she'd start to.
She triggered.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard of that too. That wasn't the case for me, but when I sensed my kid, even when I went back to work, I sensed like feeding time. It would start to leak. I gotta worry about that this time. Robbie says we have an ad to get to, so we should probably do that.
I wonder what the algorithm is going to find us based on this conversation.
I know. Are we going to have a milk commercial? A melatonin commercial? We're talking about sleep. We'll also be talking about beef later, Ted. So the algorithm's going to know, because yesterday we were talking about banking and we got the crypto wallet or the Rumble wallet.
True. It knew.
Today we're going to talk about beef. So we'll probably get a beef commercial. The algorithms, man, you can't escape the algorithms. It's everywhere.
There is no.
Everything is listening to you. Everything, your phone, the Ring cameras, everything is listening to you everywhere.
All the time.
All right. So, oh, okay. No, I thought this was like already listening to exactly what we're saying, but close. Okay. So you have probably noticed Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the platform. No pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from all your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium. Use the promo code STUDIO at the checkout. That's rumble.com/premium. Promo code STUDIO, STUDIO, studio. No ads, more freedom, and the content you actually care about. That be the deal. All right. So with that, let's hop to some of the stories, Ted. Okay, so in case you missed it, because everyone's talking about the BB Six Fingers, is he dead? And like the tit for tat killing, top level people in Iran and Israel, back and forth. Like, okay, fine, whatever. Like we're all gonna kill each other. I get it. But
everybody must get droned.
But in case you missed it, there's another neighborly war happening or brewing, Ted, and I'm curious your opinions on this, because Just about a day and a half ago, around 400 people were killed and more than 250 wounded after an alleged, I'm pretty sure it's confirmed at this point, Pakistani strike on a drug rehab center
Yeah,
in
it was them.
Afghanistan's capital, Kabul. Pakistan denied striking the civilian site. If confirmed, though, it would mark the deadliest incident since this, we'll call it a mini war, broke out between the neighboring countries last month. People have forgotten that it's been this tit for tat next door for several weeks now.
More tit than tat,
Pakistan,
though. Pakistan's definitely doling out most of the
yeah,
violence.
for sure. Pakistan launched airstrikes in Afghanistan's Kandahar and Kabul provinces starting February 26th. So 2 days before the Israel-Iran stuff happened. But of course, so we paid attention to that for like 2 seconds. Then Israel and Iran happened, and then all eyes went there. They began 2 days before after accusing Afghanistan's Taliban government of supporting militants that carried out attacks on their soil. So that includes a February 6th suicide bombing that killed more than 30 people. Earlier this month, Pakistan targeted Taliban operations at Bagram. Remember, that used to be America's air base, but
Yeah,
we handed the
right-wingers keep
keys.
saying that like we abandoned it. I mean, we fled the country because we
Yeah,
lost.
yeah.
I mean, that's what
And we
happened.
gave them the keys and we were like, yeah, we can't really afford to stay here anymore. Here's all the stuff. Like, I
Enjoy.
know, like, we got to go. We just can't. All right. Like, sorry. Thanks. Thanks for letting us be here for 20 years. Separately, the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent, in case you guys missed it yesterday, said that he's resigning very publicly over that U.S. war with Iran, asserting Iran correctly, saying that Iran posed no imminent threat to the U.S. and blaming Israeli pressure for the conflict. Israel, meanwhile, said it killed Iran's security chief, among other senior leaders. So, but the focus on the Pakistan Afghan thing, Ted.
Mm.
So we're striking. Obviously, this is a war crime if proven to be true, right? If you're striking a hospital, a rehabilitation center, because, like opium, Ted,
Right.
opiates. That, by the way, American drug companies rely heavily on the opium produced in Afghanistan and a smaller part, the Golden Triangle in Southeast Asia, like Laos, Thailand, Burma,
Yep.
Cambodia.
I've been to the Golden Triangle.
Uh-huh.
I've literally been at. I have photos of myself like with the Mekong River in the background, and I'm like, there be Thailand, there be Laos, and there be Burma.
And Ted, I'm noticing a trend here. You're going to all the places where opium is
Right.
a main export.
That's true. And
Hmm.
yet I have no interest in opium. So yeah,
Hmm.
so
So
ironic.
So if we find out this is true, which I believe it's true, that Pakistan targeted a civilian site that's
Yeah.
a hospital, it's a rehab facility.
Yeah.
What then? Who's going to punish them? It's a war crime.
Well, no one gets punished for war crimes anymore, so nothing's going to
Oh, it's
happen.
passe.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
that's so 1945.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
no,
Oh.
nothing's going to happen
Okay.
at all. It's just going to be like, oh well, sucks to be you. No, I mean obviously, who the fuck else was it, right? I mean, no one else is attacking Afghanistan. It's
False flag.
Now the thing is, it's really the absurdity here, and war is always absurd. But the absurdity here is the Pakistanis are pissed because they're receiving terrorist attacks from a group called the Pakistani Taliban, right? Informally.
Yes.
But the thing is, the Pakistani Taliban are based in Pakistan. And yes, they have that name, but they have no relationship worth talking about with the Afghan Taliban. They used to, but those relationships have been severed for years. And so they're different. They're a different group. It's sort of like
they're a different group. So there's no like central control.
It's like, yeah, you have the name in common, but you're just not the same, right? So it's not even
So
like
it's
they're
not like a McDonald's
franchises.
franchise?
No, exactly. Or ISIS. Well, it's like ISIS,
Oh,
how there's
okay.
different Islamic states, but they're not all part of the same group, right? The
Oh.
Islamic State in the Sahel is not the same thing as the Islamic State in the Maghreb.
Oh, okay.
So it's like that. And they, in this case, like the ISIS groups kind of like each other, like you go Maghreb, but like that's not how it is with the Afghan and the Pakistani Taliban. They don't like each other one little bit. So
Oh.
so they're bombing the wrong guys. It's kind of like,
Oh.
and in fact, the irony here is that the Taliban, the Afghan Taliban, who are the government of Afghanistan for the last 5 years, they are getting attacked by ISIS-K, Islamic State Khorasan, which is based in eastern, sort of near Jalalabad by the Pakistani border. The irony here is that the Afghans have more reason to bomb the Pakistanis than the Pakistanis have to bomb the Afghans, but the Pakistanis are bombing the Afghans.
Well, the Pakistanis always seem to overreact to things and can't wait to flex.
That's true. They're high-strung people.
Kind of my
yeah.
They're just like, wow, what did you do? And they just like overreact and start throwing dishes and like.
It's true. It's their national personality. They're always like, I swear to God, you can be sitting around like on the hottest fucking day of the year, and all I want to do is like lie down and like try to suck up find as much air conditioning as I can. And they're literally like 1/2 second away from a riot. Like someone will run in through the door like, did you hear what this fucker did? Like, fuck that! And they get guns and sticks and they run out into the street to kill people.
Yeah, if ever there was a definitive difference between Indians and Pakistanis, it's that.
Yes.
The Indians are way more chill.
They're
way
much more chill.
Way chill.
I spent one time like about a month in Pakistan, and at the end of, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a famous border crossing between Pakistan and India, east of Lahore, Pakistan, where they have
Up
these
north.
East.
Eastern
like Pakistan, and basically they have this northern India, sort of northern India, and the Pakistanis have this. So they have these like contests at the end of the day when they close the border. The Indians and the Pakistani border patrol all dress up in these like incredibly formal, weird British Raj style outfits, like with feathers, and then they basically try to. There's bleachers on both sides, and the of the line, and the Pakistanis and the Indians are like cheering their own border guards, and they throw stuff up, their guns up in the air and catch them, and they do these high kicks. They're performing. It's a thing you can do if you're ever in Lahore. You can go and see this. I've seen it. And so one day, I crossed that border. It was in the middle. It was like around noon. So I was the only dude crossing the border. And my Pakistani counterpart, held me. It's a tense border. And he walked me up to the painted white line in the middle to hand me over to his Indian counterpart. And I had my backpack. It's like, bugs be buzzing. It's like 105 degrees, like
I'm sure.
Birds chirping, and everyone's pouring with sweat. And the Indian guy takes me and he goes, "Today is too cold." And I realized, okay, it was a dumb joke, but it was the first humor that I had heard in a month.
Yes.
There had been no joking, no humor.
That's the difference.
Of any kind at all in Pakistan.
That is the difference. That is, I would say so. I think even the Pakistanis I know here in the US, Pakistanis and Indians, the Indians be jokey.
Yeah, Indians are warm, funny people. I'm not saying Pakistanis are without their appeal. That's not true.
No, I'm not.
But
I've met plenty, and I know plenty.
But they're very
nice
serious and dour.
It's a different cultural tone, and you can see that in the response with this Afghanistan Taliban thing, where it's like, I don't care. I don't care if it's same Taliban. You are Taliban. Like,
I kill you anyway.
just you have the same name. I don't care
Good
if
enough.
John. I don't care if Robbie West in Montana did something to me. Robert West in Virginia did something. I'm gonna bomb him.
I kill him
Like,
anyway.
just like
Yeah.
so that is the key difference, and I think we're seeing that play out, and I think it's gonna get even worse. But given that, not too far away in Iran, and then, of course, everybody's paying attention to the Emirates stuff and shit be blowing up. Are any other foreign friends gonna weigh in here and tell Pakistan and the Afghan Taliban, guys, let's bring this down a notch.
No, there's nobody who can adjudicate this matter and bring it in for a landing. I think what's going to happen is, frankly, the Pakistanis will, they're not finding, Afghanistan is not a target-rich environment, okay? So at a certain point, the Pakistanis will be like, we have now taught them their lesson. We will go back to shelling the Indian jackals across the line of control.
So you think this will just die out on its own?
It's just when enough Afghans
fizzle?
have died, it'll be like, we're done here.
So you don't think this will create, like, for the Afghan Taliban government, the government part, you don't think at some point they're going to be like, you motherfucker, and like go full jihad status?
They would, no, I don't think they can't. I mean, they're so poor, they're so new, they don't have the resources. It's like, as Donald Trump would say, like, you don't have the cards.
So it's a burgeoning, fragile government, and they're just not in the position to respond. Is basically
that's exactly it. Yeah, I don't think there's much they can do.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
it
there's
also
no regional players
that
are going to come help.
And
so.
frankly, it feeds into, from an Afghan
sucks.
civilian point of view, it feeds into a narrative that, like, if you have like, if you have like a ring in your toilet, probably Afghanistan's fault. It's Pakistan's fault in Afghanistan. Like, if you have postnasal drip, it's probably Pakistan's fault. I mean, they're behind everything that's bad. And usually they're right. Usually it is the Pakistanis who are behind it, because they have been fucking with Afghanistan for decades.
Oh, I see.
They view it as like their strategic backyard, is what they call it.
So it's not like us saying everything is Russia's fault. It's not.
It's sort of like, look, it's sort of like, if something bad happens in Canada, it's probably our fault, Well,
that's true. Yeah, because I was going to say that the whole blame Vladimir Putin for everything here in the U.S. is obviously all drummed
right.
up. It's completely false, but we still blame everything on Vladimir Putin.
No matter what. Like, if like your plants didn't sprout this year, Putin. Like, like your girlfriend's not putting out, Putin.
Yeah, it's
whatever. Farty, Putin.
Oil prices, it's all Putin.
Right.
It's everything. This beef union strike that just began, that's going to be Putin too. He's going to be somewhere behind that. So I thought maybe that was the same thing in Afghanistan and Pakistan, but you're saying they actually have legitimate cause and a long history. But I really truly hate that we're at this place in the world where I have like this sympathy right now for the Afghan, not only the people, but this precarious situation of the Afghan government right now, who happens to be Taliban.
Why do you hate that? Because they're so like anti-woman and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it's not even. It's just that. I mean, they're not the most progressive towards people like me.
There have been more progressive governments. Yes.
They're probably not my favorite. I mean, they're more right wing than Robbie.
Oh, sure.
So that's beyond.
That's it, without any question. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of beyond. Like, Robbie's where I would cut off the extent of my right wing.
That's as far as you can go.
yeah, that I can accept in my life. But I get it. That's fine. That's their country, their people, their rules, that's cool. Like, that's fine. And they have humor. We showed a couple weeks ago, Ted, you showed me that video, we put it on air of the Taliban,
Oh
the
my
joke
God.
video. Oh my
Oh no,
God,
they are
I had no idea they had that kind
unlike
of
the
humor.
Pakistanis. The Afghans are very funny.
I know some Afghan families here. Very lovely people. But as far as the Taliban as a government, I'm not saying I don't want Homeland Security raiding my house at any given moment now, but I'm saying I as a government entity,
Mhm.
the Taliban is a governmenting body
Yeah, they are
in
the
they
not
are the government.
yeah, they are the government. They're the real government of Afghanistan. Yeah,
They
of
are the
course.
governmental body of Afghanistan.
Mhm.
What's happening to them right now at the hands of their neighbor, I feel bad for them.
It's not cool.
And no one's going to help. And it's
Mm,
only the civilians dying. It's not like they're hitting, Bagram. They bombed a hospital.
right. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Yeah.
And the one thing you cannot take this away from the Taliban, even 30 years ago Taliban. The one thing I do agree with them on is they burnt the fucking poppy fields.
Yeah,
They
well,
are
drugs
not.
are the scourge of Asia. I mean, you can ask the
Yes.
Chinese during the
They
Opium Wars, right?
Yes, that is, I mean, not to mention that Great Britain forced the Chinese into continuing to do it. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's a different story. But here in present modern day Afghanistan, for as backwards as we want to, say they are and whatever, and the Taliban, whatever. Bottom line is they are hardliners against drugs.
As they should be, because it's really a
Yeah.
scourge.
And we want to proliferate drugs in that country because then it'd be going up north to Russia.
Well,
It'd
and also,
be
yeah,
traveling.
and to Northern Europe, and we get a little
Yeah,
piece of
yeah,
that action.
for
Like
sure.
all the Dutch, all their smack comes from Afghanistan,
Ugh.
or it did.
And that is one thing I can actually support from the Taliban is that they burn the poppy fields and they are very anti-drugs. Um, and the fact that this is a rehab facility and nobody is saying a thing about it.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one
I mean,
cares.
look,
400
these
civilians.
people are as every bit as innocent as those schoolgirls in Iran, and nobody cares.
Mr. Lee says in the Rumble chat, Pakistan fucked itself when it let the US and Saudis nurture and establish jihadi madrasas. That's kind of true.
That's for damn sure. Yeah.
That's true. All right, let's move on. Just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention is that there's other people dying in other brown people dying
Yes.
that maybe we should kind of care about because these are people that are already victims themselves of drug abuse. And that's really horrible. So if anybody knows, I mean, I had a family member that I have pulled out of the depths of drug addiction. And
Really?
yeah. He's
How
several
did
years
you?
clean now.
May I ask you how you did that?
A lot of prayer, a lot of love and compassion, and trying to encourage going
You
into.
didn't bomb them.
I didn't bomb my family member.
Oh, okay.
I did not I did not encourage him to go to a rehab facility and then bomb the facility. So all the things that Pakistan's doing, I didn't do.
Okay, so whatever Pakistan does, don't do that.
That's exactly right. I did the opposite. I did the love, the encouragement, the prayer, all the nice things. The ooey gooey warm, like I love you, even if you're this way. I don't want to see you die. But the Pakistanis are doing the
you were a
opposite.
little gay.
Super gay.
Uh-huh.
So I did all the warm, gooey, loving, nurturing things when the rest of the family was like had given up. But he's several years
What
clean
drug
now,
was it?
and
May I ask?
I think there was a lot of meth and a lot of and some crack.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So heavy stuff.
Is your family member named Hunter Biden?
I know, right? Right? Um, no, because if he was, we would all be tapping into the wealth coming out of there because
Because
he'd
of the
be
art.
getting
Because of the
painting
art.
deals.
Yeah, that's right.
He'd be cutting painting deals. He'd be cutting book deals. He'd be so no. But basically the stuff that Hunter Biden liked, this family member liked. But it got
Yeah.
all the way down to living on the street for many years.
Wow.
Yeah, and visiting. I have visited many a homeless campsite.
Oh, must have
I've
been
taken
so
my son
depressing.
there.
Bleak.
I know it seems odd that I would take a small child there, but I mean that's real, you know. And I wanted my son to see, and I wanted my family member to see my son, and maybe that would help trigger
Did it?
something. I think so.
I mean, did you ever?
Um,
I mean, how is he now?
oh, he's cleaned up. He's a born again Christian. He's got a real job. He was like, I have a W-2 job now. I'm paying taxes. And I was like, good for you. I'm so proud of you.
No, that's so cool when you like. I remember when I was
Taking
homeless, and
years.
I remember when I got my first apartment key after I was homeless. I like cried. I was like so happy to go down to like 49 and a half First Avenue on the Lower East Side, go to this shit little office, and they had a like, key for me waiting in a little white envelope, and they were like, "Here you go," and it was like, "Oh my god, I have a key."
Yeah. I mean, at least you weren't drug addicted. So
No,
that's why I say I think when I heard about this story a couple days ago, um it hits close to home because I really feel for these people that are trying to get help, you know, because I've
so do
witnessed
I.
it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand and how hard it is. And then the fucking Pakistanis go and bomb this place. Like, what the
Well,
actual
it
fuck?
looks like it was, honestly, it does not look like it was, it looks not like it was intentional. I mean, obviously the bomb was intentional, but it looks like the targeting was out of date and that they were using the same
What?
version of ways that like the US used to bomb that school in Iran.
Like the girls' school? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
exactly. Like, this map from 2009 work? Yeah, that'll be fine.
It's
Because
fine. Let's just bomb it.
in countries like Iran and Afghanistan, nothing is ever moved or built anew. Everything is frozen in time forever. So you don't need a new map. I'm totally being sarcastic here. These
Yeah.
countries, it's called the developing world for a reason. And things are. I mean, look, it's like here. If you have like I have a Garmin, right? And
Garmin. Oh, really? You don't use
and
your iPhone?
I no, because like the iPhone doesn't work if you're starting someplace that doesn't have any signal. So let's say you're in like a place with 0 bars, like in Vermont, and you want to, you can't, your iPhone won't load up before you go anywhere. So Google
Oh.
Maps won't work. So for the woods or anything like that, you got to have a Garmin. Anyway, the point is, um, you have to. I find that like you're like, oh, most of the streets don't change. You could blow it up, but for anything like businesses, like, oh, where's Wendy's or whatever, those change, and even street configurations do change. Like highways are rebuilt, like not far from you in Maryland on I-95. They've done radical reconfiguration north of Baltimore of the freeway, and it's not where it used to
Oh.
be. And so, you
Yes.
have to
I know what you
completely
mean.
change your, you have to completely move,
Yes.
re-upload
The
new
lanes
maps
go
from
in
time.
to different things. Yeah, yeah.
I
I know
find
what you
every
mean.
6 to 12 months, it's a good idea to do the update. Otherwise,
Yeah, but when you're the Pakistani ISI,
I mean, I know
you really
deciding
need
who
to,
to.
Ted.
No, I mean, deciding to kill people is obviously not as important as knowing where Wendy's is.
You
But
you need to get off at the right rest stop to pee and make sure there's a Chick-fil-A, there's a Wendy's. You want to get off at
right,
that one.
that's right.
But if you're going to be bombing, like
You're just killing. You're just
we're
killing brown
splitting
people. Who
hairs.
gives a shit, right? Who
We're just
cares?
you're splitting hairs, Ted. A
So true.
girls' school, rehab facility, whatever. It's just brown people.
Right. No muss. No
There's
fuss.
billions of them.
Easy come, easy go. Yeah.
billions, Ted. Don't worry about it. There's billions of the brown folks. Don't worry about it.
There's going to be more.
They reproduce
new ones
faster than everybody else.
They make new ones every day.
5 to 1. That's a real number. 5 to 1. Just saying. All right, let's move on.
So bleak. Okay, there's a major voting bill.
So
I'm glad we're talking about this, moving through DC right now. And it could change how millions of Americans register and vote. It's called the Save America Act. Republicans have been pushing very hard for it. And the central requirement is straightforward. Anyone required to registering to vote in a federal election would need to provide documentary proof of U.S. citizenship, like a passport, birth certificate, or naturalization papers. Standards, and by the way, you would have to re-register to vote if you're currently registered to vote, right? Using this new criteria.
We have to re-register?
100%. Yeah, because they don't know, because this law hasn't applied. So if you have to prove you're a citizenship, that you're a citizen, well, how do they know you're a citizen? You have to go present it to the Board of Elections.
Right. How do they know I was a citizen in the first place to be allowed to?
Correct. A standard driver's license alone doesn't qualify because most state IDs don't indicate citizenship, and many states do issue driver's licenses to like green card holders and in some cases undocumented workers. The bill also, and New York. The bill also goes further. It would require photo ID at the polls, tighten rules around mail-in votings, and push states to aggressively verify voter rolls and share data with federal systems. Supporters say that they're trying to strengthen election integrity and ensure that only citizens are voting, even though voting by non-citizens is already illegal and considered extremely rare. So I looked up, Manila, how many people vote illegally in the United States. There are 10 cases that are documented between 2009 and 2022. Nationally
documented
of illegals voting. Now, in all those cases, they were basically just idiots who didn't know that they weren't supposed to vote. It wasn't like a fucking conspiracy. Needless to say, those 10 votes spread over 10 years did not make any fucking difference in the result of any election at all. Not even close.
The broadest estimates by the U.S. government and other like think tanks here in D.C., I've seen as high as, Ted, get ready, as high as in federal elections, as high as 0.4%.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't think it's even 0.4%. And anyway, and 0.4% has not
doesn't move elections.
Yeah. Does not move elections. I mean, it's like one vote makes a difference. There have been elections. No, there haven't been actually.
But the Republicans do say that. But if you boil down the 0.4, that at a local level it can. They're like, if you're splitting between 150 votes or some shit.
Yeah, maybe in some like tiny town where like there's 70 people.
The dog catcher or whatever.
Yeah,
like
perhaps.
Or something.
Although there's no documented case of that either. But okay. So anyway, so moving along. But the numbers are where the debate gets serious. According to multiple analyses, more than 21 million eligible voters, nearly 9% of the voting age population don't have any way to prove that they're a citizen. 15% of Americans don't have a up-to-date driver's license or state ID, and about half don't have a valid passport. So a passport is the easiest way to meet the new requirement. You have a passport, up to date, you are a U.S. citizen. Okay, so that's like easy to go to the Board of Elections with. I don't know if they would accept a passport card. I would assume that they would. I don't know if they'd want that passport coupled with, a driver's license or a proof of address or anything like that. But a passport shows who you are. No question about it. You're a U.S. You can't have a passport unless you're a U.S. citizen.
Right. There
are also demographic impacts. There are about 69 million married women whose legal name is not the same name as the name on their birth certificate. So if you're a married lady who changed her last name and you went, and so if you have a passport, no muss, no fuss, because that passport has to show your current name. But if you don't, you're one of the half who doesn't.
No, I'm one of those mishmash people that's like the IRS recognizes me as a married woman with a hyphenated name, like
Mm,
Rodham Clinton style.
mhm,
Some credit cards know me as just
mhm,
my married name. Some still say my maiden name. My driver's license only says my maiden name,
mhm.
and it's renewed as such. My homeownership tax records are hyphenated. I'm all over the place, so I would be screwed.
Well, yeah, you would be. For people who don't have a passport, what you'd have to do, and you're a married lady who changed her name, um, ironically, Manila, you are twice as likely to have changed your name if you're a Republican lady than if you're a Democratic lady, which is going to get to a
Well, see,
point.
I'm middle of the road.
So
So
the point I'm going to make here, I'll just preview this, is that actually, I don't know why Republicans want this law. I did all the math on it. It's going to fuck Republicans. It's like not. It's
oh,
good for Democrats. It's going to mean Democrats win more elections, not Republicans.
that's
This is like
funny
it's like a
because
religious
liberal women
article.
keep their names if they get married at
It's a
all.
religious article of faith, but that like
Oh,
Trump
that's
thinks
funny.
they think this is going to help them. It's sort of like how Trump was against mail-in ballots, but it fucked him
Right,
in 2020.
right.
That's what this is. This is
That's
mail-in
funny.
ballots 2.0. Dumb fucking Republicans. So anyway, the thing is,
That's funny.
so these women, what they would have to
It's the
do,
Princess Bride. It's
they'd
I
have to
don't
dig
think
up
that means what you think it means.
exactly. They'd have to dig up their birth certificate. They'd have to go to a court.
Then take a marriage license, be like,
No, they'd
look,
have to go to a court and prove
yeah,
that they
wow.
and get a court document that probably would cost money, hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars to get.
Time. Who cares
That's
about the money? It's the
and money
time.
and time that would say, oh, okay, so Karen Smith is now Karen Jones. Okay, but then here's the real kicker. You
Or
go
she's
to
Smith Jones.
she takes she so Mrs. Jones now goes to the Board of Elections and says, I'm now ready to register and I have my ID and everything. But then the clerk, if the clerk looks at everything and says like, okay, this all looks good and approves,
Right.
but it turns out it's not quite right. There's a mistake, an innocent mistake. Even if Ms. Jones really is born in Kansas and is an American citizen, but there's a mistake, that clerk can go to prison for 5 years and have to pay a $10,000 fine for an
What?
innocent mistake. For an innocent mistake.
You're holding government workers, a clerk, for example,
Right.
liable?
Correct. So I ask you, Manila, Clerk Manila of the Board of Elections, if you have that sort of Damocles hanging over your thin little neck, are you likely to sort of approve a lot of these? Or are you likely to be like, out of an abundance of caution, no, you can't vote? Right?
If I was looking at my own paperwork, right,
Yeah, you'd
that
be like, I
shows
don't know, it's
a
sketchy.
mishmash,
Right.
of my maiden name, of my hyphenated name, of just Manila, and my married name, I'd be looking at that woman's like
And by
pile
the way,
of
the
shit.
same thing applies to anybody who's changed their name. Most people who change their name, it's for marriage. Some people change their name for completely other reasons. For example, they have, like, my name is not legally Ted Rall,
Right.
but there's a lot to be said for I could change my name legally to Ted Rall
Right.
just to make sure everything is consistent across everything.
Yeah, but then you have to jump through hoops.
But the
all
point is,
that.
people do that. Okay, like
Right.
rock stars, for example.
But if you're the clerk,
they
well,
change
Anna
their
Nicole
names.
Smith had to petition to be recognized as Anna Nicole Smith.
Well, that's a marriage situation. But like,
right.
But then there's also.
Well, no, that's her on stage pseudonym.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because
so like Jello
Biafra
was not born Jello Biafra, right? And I don't know if he goes by, the Dead Kennedys singer who just recently had a stroke.
Right.
So there's people like that, right? Or Johnny Ramone. I think he changed his name legally to be Johnny Ramone.
Right.
So there's all sorts of stuff like that.
There are a lot of
and then, of
people
course,
that-
there's trans people who change,
Of course.
in many cases, their first name as well.
Well, I think the Republicans think that's who they're trying to target and weed out.
There's some lady at the New York Times. She's Chinese, and she changed her middle initial to the number 8 because it's good luck in Chinese.
Right.
And so she's something 8 something. Now, all these are examples of people who've changed their names, right? so those people are not going to be. Here's the thing. Yes, you can jump through all those hoops. Yes, you can pay money. Yes, you can go wait in line. By the way, can you imagine how long the lines at the Board of Elections are going to be once everyone who's
Right.
currently registered has to go and
Has to
currently
re-register.
the only people who they're dealing with, they're staffed to deal with new voters. They're going to have literally
Right.
everyone in, say, Los Angeles County coming in all at the same time to like the three
Start from
fat
scratch.
the three fat ladies who are there, like, dealing with everyone and who are out to lunch like an
Can you
hour a day.
imagine?
I mean, it's going to be a
No,
fucking
this is a
nightmare.
clusterfuck. It's a clusterfuck.
And so I think a lot of
It's a
Americans would
bureaucratic
decide.
clusterfuck
And
waiting to
here's the thing,
happen.
Manila.
This is a
Are
bad
you
idea.
really, let's say it was like, oh, you have to pay $1,000 for a new document for the choice to vote
I'm not doing it.
and for the choice to vote between like the shit ass Democratic and the shit ass Republican
Right.
parties, corporate warmongering shitheads who don't care about us. I don't know about you. I'm
Right.
not voting. I wouldn't
I'm
vote.
just not voting. I'm not paying. If you're making me jump through all those fucking hoops to certify who I've already shown that I am for 25 years or whatever that I've been voting, like, and I'm out a lot of bucks all that time just to vote for people I fucking hate. No.
Now the thing is, Manila, there is a the push keeps talking about, like, from the GOP keeps talking about how incredibly popular voter ID laws are, that like 80% of voters are in favor of them. And after all, you have to show your ID to do this and that. So what's the big deal? Well, okay, I'm going to shock my left-wing friends. They're right. Voter ID laws are popular. And it is true that the vast majority of Americans who are functional have some sort of state ID. I would argue that like a state, I do think state ID cards, if they're required to vote, should be free, so that you're not
Sure.
like effectively charging a poll tax to the homeless and
yeah.
stuff like that. But they're right. But the thing is, what they keep conflating, in the same way that Bush kept saying like Saddam Hussein supports terrorism. Now, Saddam Hussein did support State Department designated terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah.
Right.
But when the Bush administration said that, they wanted you to think that he was like in bed with Al Qaeda. Actually, he was like Al Qaeda's biggest enemy. And
Right.
And similarly,
It's
the
it's
GOP,
the Bill Clinton,
the
did you have
GOP,
sex with that woman?
exactly. The GOP wants you to think, like just like that, right? Like,
How do you
and
define that?
yeah, how do you define it? It's like, well, I mean, according to the Star Report, Bill like rimmed Monica. Now, you and I might not think that's sex, but it's a little more intimate than just saying hi.
Than a handshake.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice gesture. It's appreciated. But
I'm glad that's not the norm of how we greet each other. But
no, depends on what kind of office you work at. But similarly here, they're trying to conflate voter ID laws. Americans support voter ID, you'll see people say on X. So it's only common sense, Elon says, to support the Save America Act. Well, the Save America Act isn't a voter ID law.
The details matter.
It's a prove your citizenship law, and proving proving who you are is not unreasonable. Proving that you're a citizen shouldn't be unreasonable, but it is because it's hard for most Americans.
Right.
We've made it hard. Like in France, I have a French citizenship, and when you're a French citizen, you're issued a voter ID. You're issued a national ID card, which, by the way, is free, unlike the passport. And you're required to present it to any cop if they walk up to you in the street. Hey, who the fuck are you? You're supposed to show them.
They can just ask you
that they've set.
They can just ask you in France, like walk up to a tourist, even like.
Yeah, and
hey,
of course the tourist.
Who are you?
The tourist can be like, well, I'm not from here. And then, I guess the thing is, technically, when you visit France, you are supposed to have your passport with you. In reality, it's such a tourist-friendly country; they're not going to do that.
Right. I've never had that happen to me, but
but the point is that like the Republicans are conflating this because they know that if people found out the details, they'd really be against it. Now, but what's funny is they haven't thought it through themselves.
Apparently.
That's the part that makes me giggle.
Is right. All the Republican ladies who have different last names.
Because
sometimes
people who change
multiple
their
times
names,
over, Ted.
people who change their last names tend to be a little more conservative than people who don't.
Yes. Right. Which is why, I mean, that's funny that you bring that up, because it really is reflected in how I'm legally identified. Because like I said, I'm a mishmash of everything. I'm not all my married name, and I'm not all my maiden name, and I'm not all my hyphenated name.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all over the place, which is reflected in my political views. So,
yeah, true.
So there you go. But certainly, like Scotty Nell Hughes, Republican. Hughes is her married name.
Right.
She wasn't born Hughes.
And Hillary Rodham Clinton became just Hillary Clinton.
Right. Just, I mean, well, that's branding. That's different.
Right.
That's just a marketing
Hillary.
Ploy. Just Hillary. Just dance hands, jazz hands.
Like Cher. She's a lot like Cher.
Just Hillary. So, and she doesn't even need a last name. Cher, Madonna, all the greats, Prince.
Right.
Don't need a last name.
Right.
Hillary. So, there's people like her, right? So, okay. So that the devil is always in the details, and these details suck ass.
Okay, so Manila, let me ask you, because you are, I think, temperamentally more in tune with Republicans than I am. I have a lot of Republican friends, but
Scott Stantis, your bestie.
Absolutely. So that said, why do you think they just don't know?
The people that drew this up?
Yeah. Like, do you think they just didn't crunch the numbers?
Yeah. I think it just didn't occur to them.
How is that possible?
That they would disenfranchise their own.
I mean, you're there in the nation's capital. Is it your understanding that when people, like legislators draft legislation, don't they have staffers who are supposed to go and do research and figure out what the repercussions of a bill would be?
Well, here's the problem. The staffers are themselves Gen Z, and at the eldest, the tail end of millennial, right? The most senior staffers.
They're surprisingly young, right?
They're young. So these people are not fucking married, Ted. They're not married. They have no kids, and they're not having sex. So the whole idea of, hey, this might disenfranchise our lady voters in the Republican caucus, in the Republican Party. Hey, our ladies tend to get married and change their names. This could really, you have to make all those ladies re-register. That's going to make it really, really hard for our voters. It hasn't occurred to them because these are very young staffers. While they're very bright and they're crunching all the other numbers, probably economically, like.
Well, that's another aspect that we have to talk about, Manila, the economics. So I think Republicans think, oh, this will really hurt poor people because it's harder for them to get their shit together and find their.
It's going to cost $30 to get a repro of your birth certificate. It's going to cost $150 for your passport.
And they move around a lot, so maybe they lost their birth certificate. More likely, their lives are more scattered.
Right? They're like, we're going to disenfranchise all these shit ass Democrats.
Poor people, Democrats be poor. But that's not true anymore. Ever since this guy named Donald J. Trump changed all that, he changed the demographic complexion of the Republican Party. And now Democrats are a party of coastal elites, upper middle class people. And Republicans are a working class party. And if you're poor or working class, the odds are you're a Republican voter.
That's what I'm saying.
They're less likely to be able to find their birth certificates too.
The young staffers that drew this up are basing this on what they learned in college. Outdated shit from their poli-sci professor.
Yeah, because they're like 26 or whatever.
They're like 26
That's
years
long
old.
enough for this to have changed.
None of this has occurred to them, is my point. While they may have come from Ivy League schools, like fucking Yale.
They don't read Ted Rall's syndicated column, or they would know this.
No, because they live in their silos. And so they might be brilliant academically and come from these, Ivy League schools or whatever, because those are like, let me tell the people out there, that is who gets these intern jobs and staffer jobs. These are like usually Nepo babies that come from.
They are. Because who else could
Yeah.
afford it? Yeah.
Right. Because they get paid shit wages, but it's
in a very expensive city.
In a very expensive city. And these kids are there to hobnob, rub elbows, do some blow, and climb up the ladder. Right. And maybe eventually go into the revolving door and get spat out onto a board somewhere, or get spat out back to daddy's company, or spat out back. That's how that works here in DC. So these kids, yes, academically, they might be gifted, or maybe not. They might just be legacy children that, went to
more
these
likely
Ivies.
than not. Yeah.
Yeah. So on paper, they sound impressive, but they have no lived experience to understand life on the ground. So when they draw up and do all this research for their congressman or their senator to put forth this bill, because that's who writes the bills, is the kids. Yeah. Believe it or not. Fucking someone under 30.
Either that or if it relates to the Middle East, AIPAC writes it.
Right. But when it comes to bills at home, it's some fucking kid that's under 30 years old most of the time. And then it might, once it gets drawn up 5 different times, it goes through to a more senior staffer that might be in their early 30s. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But most of these people
Manila,
are still young and unmarried and haven't thought of any of
Let's do some math here, right? So a little bit over 200 House representatives are Republican. A little bit over 50 senators are Republican. They each have, let's say, an average of 5 staffers, let's say? 5 full-time staffers?
Yeah, and a couple interns.
Okay, so that's back of the envelope, 1,500 people at least. Not one of them ever came across my nationally syndicated column from 3 weeks ago, or has a friend who forwarded it to them and said, I know you and your boss have been pushing the SAVE Act, but this wackadoodle cartoonist, he says he did all the math and look at this, and this communist, and he says that you guys are fucking up. Nobody I'm shocked that didn't come to any. I was expecting to get a call from some staffer who was like, oh, can you provide us with your research notes on this article? And I would have happily done that.
I know. The devil is in the details, and the kids it just hasn't occurred to them that this will greatly disenfranchise their own base.
How do you, is it possible that really they don't even know anybody who reads anything?
Yeah. Yes. Ted, have you met any of the kids here on Capitol Hill?
No, that's why I'm asking you. I don't know those people. Those are not my people.
I was with them, like I was Ed Schultz's Capitol Hill reporter.
That's why I'm asking. I figured you would be able to shed some light on this baffling situation.
And even 10 years ago, Ted, 10 years ago, think about how much things have changed 10 years ago. They weren't reading then. The staffers weren't. So it's even less now. So if it's not out on the TikToks, it's not out on social media, they ain't seeing it. They're just not. So if it's written, like there might be a slim chance if you talked about it like we are right now on a podcast that maybe it might get picked up. Not likely. It's similar to like what John described of how his social media virality happened, right? Is somebody had to take a clip and make him Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yes.
Somebody has to take your stuff and turn you Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like that's the only way you're going to get these staffers' attention, or they're not reading, they're not listening. They're getting their notes from think tanks that are not even covering, like they're the think tanks. This is
the liberals are hearing from like the Center for American Progress, and the conservatives are hearing from Heritage.
Correct. So they're all in their own silos.
Cato. Yeah.
They're in their own. Cato is very libertarian.
Cato is libertarian. Yeah, it's more Republican than Democratic, but I tend to. I quote them all the time. I like them.
Cato's actually really great, and they actually treat you well when you're there. Fucking Heritage and all these other like very Christian conservative places are not as friendly to most reporters.
Really?
Cato,
They're dick beans?
very, very good. Yeah. Cato's actually always been very nice to me. And they'll feed you. Like if you're stuck at one of their pressers and you're there for hours,
Yeah.
they'll feed you. The
Well,
other
shit.
ones are like, oh, there's a water fountain over there.
Help yourself. Go wild.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks. But yeah, so that's where we're at. And I think that's why these little details, Ted, have not occurred to the congressmen, much less their staffers, because they're 12.
All right, well, they're fucking idiots, and I want to be. I'm putting down this marker, Manila, so that a year from now, when we're all laughing at them for having fucked up, we'll be able. Although I don't think it's gonna. I don't think this bill's gonna pass. It doesn't look like it's gonna pass.
Yeah, I hope not. It's when you. Not that I was cheering for it.
I think a voter ID law probably would have passed. It would have been very hard for Democrats.
A simple one, a basic, simple, basic bitch one, but this one is convoluted and like idiotic.
I mean, I will, because I'm not. Look, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I remember, like in New York. I don't know how it works there. In New York, the first time I went to vote, and all you had to do was sign when you vote. You sign your signature. And like they they compare your signature to the signature that you used to vote. It's in a book.
For your driver's license.
No, when you registered to vote, you signed a card.
Oh, and the California did that.
And I was always like, that doesn't seem very secure to me.
Virginia's even worse. You can just go online and just register to vote.
Yeah.
At the county level.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
no thumbprint.
Look, voting is registering to vote is super easy. Another thing that's really easy. It's another thing that's very strange of our system is that you vote for that when you move, you don't have to notify your old municipality that you're not there anymore. So you're still registered to vote in, like, let's say Chicago, and you move to New Orleans and you register to vote there, and now you're registered in two places. And you could theoretically vote in both.
Right. I was one of those people because I left California, as I bitched about, and the FTB was trying to like give me the taxation without representation. But theoretically, I could have voted in the California primaries before I was like, oh shit, I need to notify them that I don't live there. Because I was now registered to vote.
Did you bother? I mean, most people don't. I don't.
No, I never. I just
don't vote.
It occurred to me.
I just stopped voting in the old.
I just don't vote there because I don't live there.
Right, exactly, and I don't care enough about voting to cheat and vote twice.
Right,
not to mention it's a felony. Yeah.
Right, I'm not going to do that because it's a fucking federal crime. So I just didn't. But
not to mention it would be the dumbest felony ever because you could never, as previously discussed here, you could never affect the outcome of an election anyway.
No, of course not. With your one double vote, like stupid. Robbie says we have another ad. Is it still there, Robbie? Do we still have to get to it? No, it's gone. Okay. Either way, we got to blast through these next couple of topics anyway. This was the devil in the details. We had to kind of comb through the details so the audience.
I'm so glad we did though, because it's been bugging the shit. This whole thing has been so opaque, Manila, that I really wanted to
I'm glad we talked about it.
I think we've honestly just put down. I think seriously we should release this as a clip. I think it's the most cogent and intelligent discussion of the Save America Act that I've seen
in plain language
that I've seen anywhere in media.
In plain language, so that people understand what it actually is, and we'll let Robbie know. It's towards the back, the second half hour, is that we focused on the Save America Act and why it's actually bullshit, and it's actually gonna hurt conservatives. So Democrats, by the way, also, I don't want to leave them out of the stupidity sweepstakes. They should be all over it like white on rice because it will help Democrats. Do you think Democratic staffers are any different than the Republican staffers?
No,
you don't fucking read either.
Yeah, that gives us hope for the future, Manila. Stupidity and tartary are bipartisan.
That is the bipartisan effect here, is if it's not on TikTok, the staffer is not going to know about it, Ted.
Right, good point. Good
We
point.
are headed towards the prophecy of idiocracy.
It's true. It's like, think about John Kiriakou. He's in national news. He gets out of prison 11 years ago.
Right.
He exposed one of the most disgusting, heinous,
Right.
over the top things in U.S. history, that the United States officially tortured people just for fun. And
Right.
like that, he languishes in obscurity.
I know.
He's like reduced to food stamps. Can't find
I
a
know. Poor
can't
John.
find a job.
RT was the only place that wanted to interview him when he came out of prison. That's how I know John. I've known John for that
Right.
long, is because we were the only ones that wanted to interview him.
And I met him at Sputnik. And like now, thank God, finally he's being recognized as a national hero. But
Right.
but only because some guy made a TikTok that showed him with his teeth chattering, and he had Alvin and the Alvin voice and lasers shooting out of his eyes. That's literally it. This is idiocracy.
You had to cartoonize a very serious matter. Obviously, like John is, and I told John this before when I first met him the first time I interviewed him, I mean, more than a decade ago, right? I was like, wow, you're an American hero. You know,
That's
like
right. Correct.
People need to fucking know this, that the US government authorized torture. Like, this is horrible. What a blight on the American
and then when the dude complained,
reputation.
they sent him to prison. They made him the bad guy.
Right. So, you know, when I first met him, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, God bless you. And he was like, you know, he was really, that close from being on the street, you know, many times. He's barely scraped by for all of these years.
Right.
And because he's my friend, I know all, you know, his personal life and the shit that he endured after he got out of prison. And nobody knew anything until 6 months ago.
It's fucking absurd.
Because of TikTok.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about him until 6. And of course, like, yeah, sure, that's my line of work. Of course, I would know, you know, who John Kiriakou, whatever. But
now it would be like now, who the fuck is this Neil Armstrong guy? Until there's like a TikTok.
Correct. So this SAVE Act, unless we cut this and drop it into a TikTok and somehow it becomes viral, some Republican influencer, some Democratic influencer, all those people that Joe Biden had hired. Remember all the people that Joe Biden's White House had hired as influencers. Remember all those kids, Ted, that came to the White House?
Yeah. The tards.
Yes. You would need them to put it out for people to understand what the SAVE Act is.
Correct.
Because right now, all they see is Elon Musk being like, oh, yeah, that's good.
That's
American.
the other thing too. That even Elon Musk, right? Do you think he does his own Twitter feed? Because he's literally is just like, he retweets something and he's like, true, good, right.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like,
I do believe
like, dude, you're characterized as like America's Thomas Edison, and that's how you communicate?
No, because he's autistic. You know that, right? He's autistic.
Yeah, I know he's autistic, but autistic people can be loquacious.
Can be, but more than likely not. They're usually just kind of very blunt and matter of fact.
Really? Do you think he's like that? Like
almost robotic.
Do you think he's like that in real life?
Yeah. That's why he gets high with Joe Rogan when he goes on the show, because it loosens him up and makes him more human.
Because he's got to be able to talk humanoid for 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Otherwise, he's humanoid. So yeah, that's that's very, 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 very common.
No, you've provided me with a lot of insight this morning. I appreciate it.
I have. Growing up, California had this program called PALS, the Peer Assisted Leadership Program, and this is before like everybody had autism apparently. But anyway,
everybody gets autism.
Everybody's autistic now. But anyway, I grew up, and my dad worked in mental health, so that's why it was my minor, because I was always very interested in how the human brain works. But anyway, California's PALS system in public schools, and I don't know if they still have it, but at least in the 80s and 90s they had it. And I got very familiar with kids of varying types of special needs. It could be anything from Down syndrome to cerebral palsy to just a touch of autism, just a touch. And back then we didn't know that much about autism, obviously. But having been in that program that I would say California pioneered in public schools, I was exposed to that and learned very young that people with autism can, like Rain Man, right? Like you can be fucking brilliant, but
Sure.
you can't, you're trapped in your brain and you can't really speak. Elon Musk is not that, where he can't, and he's not quite Rain Man. But there's a lack. That's why a lot of them can't make eye contact or hold eye contact, is because it's this human level thing where they're kind of robotic in the sense that they can't bond with like eye to eye contact. It triggers something in them and makes them very uncomfortable. So that's why they're constantly like soothing and rocking. Elon Musk does that. You can see he does a lot of rocking and self-soothing, and he breaks eye contact regularly. He'll look at you, but when he's high on Rogan, and which is why he says he can't do it anymore because of his national security clearance.
Yeah, not to mention he almost got kicked off his own board.
Yeah. So he can't do that anymore. So I think he just takes a nip here and there in between, to loosen him up. For him, that seems to work. I don't think that works for all autistic people.
Interesting.
But you need something to change in the way your neurons fire when it comes to a social level, to like as a social lubricant, more than regular, like non-autistic brains, how we get, we're lubricated with alcohol.
Yes.
It works even better for somebody somewhere on the spectrum. Not everybody, but from what I observed about Elon Musk, I saw many kids growing up in California that were like that you had no idea were brilliant and they couldn't speak, but they were solving math equations. I saw it. I worked with those kids to try to help them acclimate to like social cues and how to sit and have dinner properly. Things like that. That's why it was called PALS, is you're trying to help them quote unquote behave a certain way normally, in a publicly acceptable way. Because otherwise they're just in their special ed class with other special ed kids, therefore having no exposure to the normies.
To normal socialization.
Right. So I was one of the kids that was selected to do this program. And I think I benefited a lot from it because I got to see that the human brain isn't as clear cut as like, oh, you're a fucking tard, so you can't do anything.
Right. Like, no.
It's actually, no, you can't speak and you might twitch and do weird shit, but you're solving mathematical equations like fucking Einstein over here. Whereas I'm having trouble going, okay, 13% off sale on this dress means.
Right.
So I've learned a thing or two from that as well. But that's why I say with Elon Musk, he's 100%. That's his tweets. Because from what I've observed in real life on videos of him behaving a certain way, and then you compare it to his tweets, that's all Elon.
Do you think
it's very
consistent? Trump's are all his?
Mostly.
Yeah, I think
if they're more
not
cogent,
all, right? Yeah, not all.
If they're more direct and more cogent, I would say it's a staffer. If it's rambly and verbose,
yes, that's him.
That's Trump. That's Trump. Yeah.
But the staffer has to kind of learn his all caps, like, thank you for your attention.
They don't. And the sign off, thank you for your attention to this matter.
Yeah. Your favorite president. Hello, it's your favorite president, TJT.
That's how you know. And with Biden, you just knew, period. It was never him. Period.
No.
Full stop.
No, I mean, that is the most hilarious thing.
Full stop.
When you read, like, I know, like, Hillary Clinton doesn't write those op-eds in the New York Times, but she could. She went to law school. She's smart. She's just too lazy. She just doesn't do it.
Smart enough.
But like Joe Biden, those things that are authored in the New York Times, it's like, are you fucking serious? No way, no how. Joe Biden couldn't have written that in 1991, and he sure can't fucking write it now. No
That's right.
way.
No fucking way. Get the fuck out of here. Who do you think you're tricking? Like,
It's absurd.
not happening.
So, I
Not
mean, it's like,
happening.
how stupid do they think we are? And the answer is we're obviously pretty stupid, because I've had so many conversations with dingus Democrats who are like, no, he's really great behind
No,
closed doors. I
that's
hear he's
because it's
fantastic.
the I want to believe people. It's just like the MAGA Trumpers, like the true,
Yeah.
like cultist
Yeah.
MAGA people.
Well, those are stupid people.
They want to believe. They want to believe, no matter at whatever the cost. They want to believe.
And
So,
I think the most important
and that
thing
existed
you
for
can
Kamala
do
and Biden people too.
Look, I understand the impulse. For years, I was like, oh, we're going to have a communist revolution in the United States. It's only a matter of time. But now I realize that's not true. And like, you have to be, the most important thing you can do in life is to internalize the fact that things aren't going to be the way that you want them to be just because you want them to be. It's to see things as they really are.
And that is what I aim to teach my son and future daughter, is you can wish and you can pray and you can hope and you can
all allowed.
You can have all of that.
Sure.
But you also have to recognize the reality.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because that is where you be living, bitch. That's what I'm going to teach this little girl.
Sadly. Wish it wasn't true. But
all right, we're already over. We got to at least do this one more.
Okay.
I know we got to do at least this one more because of the thumbnail, or else it's a wasted thumbnail today.
No, we can't waste
the cows being on strike, which is funny.
I love this. Okay.
Because obviously, if you about to be butchered, you be a cow, and you're about to be butchered, you be happy that there's a strike.
Absolutely.
All right. So union workers went on strike this week at one of America's largest meatpacking plants. Roughly just under 4,000 workers walked out of the Swift Beef Company plant in Greeley, Colorado. At issue, the employees are alleging retaliation by the company and unfair labor practices, which includes claims that Swift's parent company, JBS USA, charges the workers at least $1,100 for personal protective equipment. You might recall during COVID, we called that PPE. Mm-hmm. The company makes you buy your own PPE from them. Almost all workers, 99% per the union's local president, voted to authorize this week's protest, the strike. The union alleges that the company refused to negotiate in the lead up to the Sunday contract deadline. So they're in day 3 now. The strike comes as meat prices continue to rise and the country's cattle population is at a 75-year low. The walkout is the first of its kind since the 1985-86 strike at Minnesota's Hormel plant. Mm-hmm. That strike lasted for a year and involved violent clashes, with only 20% of employees getting their jobs back at the end of all of this, Ted. Mm-hmm. And for broader context, the U.S. cattle herd is at the historic low, around 86.2 million head of cattle. That's what they call it, head. 86.2 million as of early Q1 right now. So that's down year over year. So the industry has a little bit of buffer room, but not for very long. Any disruption hitting harder now than in times of abundant supply, it'll potentially exacerbate already high grocery bills. Because even though Trump says that the economy is doing fucking great, better than ever, grocery bills are really high. We're in, not only are the prices going higher, Ted, but then the companies that are making, let's say, your peanut butter, they're hollowing out the fucking peanut butter jar underneath, right? That little curve that they put in. The curve is going like all the way up. Like, your jar is like a tube now. It's like a toilet paper roll in the middle.
yeah, shrinkflation.
That's
what they call it.
The beef prices are crazy. Americans can't afford to eat real real food, Ted. We can't get real food on the table.
Nope.
We can't afford it.
Nope.
Oh, Robbie says we have an ad, and it is a beef ad.
Oh my God, is that serious? Is that no? Stop.
Yeah. Put it up, Robbie. Put it up. Put it up. Put it up. It's a beef ad.
All right. The Manila theory has now been proven.
Holy smokes. It's real. It's a beef ad.
All right, let's do it.
We talked about this beef strike. All right. There it is. The algos be listening.
All right.
All right. Today's sponsor, Chicago Steak Company. And they're giving away 4 free steaks on every order. Use that code BPSIR free. Do you ever buy steaks at the grocery store and it's just a total gamble? You're standing there staring at this shrink wrapped mystery cut, trying to figure out which one might actually be decent. And half the time you get home, you cook it. Yeah, it's fine. You know, it's all right. Nothing special. Chicago Steak Company is the opposite of that. USDA prime and upper choice, hand selected by butchers in the Windy City, Chicago. Wet aged 28 to 40 days, vacuum sealed, and then shipped on dry ice right to your door. Every cut is hand carved, no guessing. Here's the part that we really like here. You spend $199 or more. Any steaks, it's all your choice. Use that code BP Serve Free, and they'll throw in 4 bourbon peppercorn sirloins for free. Plus, you'll get free shipping. These are 6-ounce top sirloin with a cracked peppercorn and bourbon rub. Lean, beefy, bold flavor. Throw them on this hot grill, and they're done in just a couple minutes. That's $160 worth of free steaks. They've got 15,000 5-star reviews. So these guys are the real deal. Go to mychicagosteak.com/rumble. Use that code BP Serve Free. That's BPSIR free. The link is in the description. So I guess I don't know where they get their beef from, Ted. I hope it's not from Colorado.
Probably not.
Because those people be on strike. But look, I'm a daughter of a union worker, a union employee. So I'm always with the workers on this, with the union.
Ditto.
That is some fucked up shit that they're doing. These are people that are barely making at minimum or slightly above minimum wage. Colorado is not a cheap place to live, statewide. And you're charging these people $1,100 to have the privilege of cutting up your meat?
It's so gross.
Like, are you kidding? And then who knows what else is being discussed, because the company's not talking. Who knows if they're also discussing pay plans, vacations, other, like workers' rights stuff, like healthcare, shit like that, because now you don't have to provide that any quality level of healthcare anymore, because that law has been overturned.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of shit to discuss over in Colorado, and I don't know all the details, but my gut instinct is the JBS, the parent company, is probably shitting on the 4,000 workers.
JBS be just bullshit.
Yeah, that's probably right.
See what I did there?
That's right. And the 4,000 workers, like, fuck, sucks to be them. Like, I'm sure workers don't just go on strike over nothing. Mm-hmm. That's just not,
No, because going on strike is scary. It's basically like you're worried about being fired. You're worried that they're going to find out, even though it's illegal, that they'll find some excuse to get rid of you. You know that they're going to hate you if you join the strike. They threaten you. So, and obviously people who work in a meat processing plant aren't exactly like, well, I could just up and go and work for, Tesla instead. Fuck you. So yeah, they're nervous. By the time someone goes on strike at a place like that, they are so past giving any shits that it's crazy. They're so pissed. And so,
yeah, That means they've been shit on for a long time. That's what when you get to strike level, that means you've been dealing with some bullshit for a long time.
Very true.
So I think people should pay attention to that, because if you don't, you will when you go to the grocery store.
True.
You'll see it. And it won't be long that maybe, other chapters of this union, beef workers union or whatever it's called, in other states, where they're probably talking about this too. Because if one, Ted, if one chapter is talking about it, the word is spreading.
Talk to each other, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously. And they should.
Yeah. And they should. And if this expands, it's going to be a shitty ass summer with, I don't know what you're going to throw on the grill. Tofu?
Well, you go for Haitian food. Get a cat or a dog.
All right. One last story. One.
There's a long-standing mystery in medicine that doctors have just kind of worked around for decades. You could knock someone out for surgery using completely different drugs that act on totally different parts of the brain, and somehow they all do the same exact things. They make you unconscious. Now, finally, after doing this to millions of human beings, researchers at MIT say they know why. In a new study, scientists looked at how different anesthesia drugs affect your brain, including drugs that work through entirely different chemical pathways. So the solution turned out to be pretty simple. Despite all those differences, the drugs all disrupt the same fundamental brain process. They mess with your brain wave timing. Your brain normally runs on coordinated electrical activity, waves that rise and fall in sync, allowing different parts of your brain to communicate and process info. That synchronization is what allows you to think. It's like the timer on your car. Perceive and stay consciousness. But under anesthesia, that system collapses. The study found that brain waves start to fall out of sync within regions of your brain, while becoming oddly more synchronized across larger areas, a shift that essentially cuts off local communication between neurons. And when those local networks can't communicate, consciousness goes poof. You're still alive, your brain still works, but your awareness is like, so you become basically a
lump.
Or a president.
Or that.
What's striking is that researchers say this pattern looks almost identical no matter what drug you use. In fact, scientists found that when they looked at brain activity, they could barely tell which anesthetic had been given. Different drugs, same end result. So there's a sort of a universal off switch for consciousness. It's not really tied to a single chemical, but how your brain's electrical rhythms are organized, which is obviously a major insight. Right now, anesthesiologists rely on a mix of experience, monitoring, and guesswork to keep patients at the right level of unconsciousness during surgery. Like, you've had that thing where the anesthesiologist comes in and talks to you and says, so Manila, how are you feeling this morning? How are you doing? Did you sleep well last night? And that your answers to those questions, like if you're feeling scared or if you didn't sleep well or whatever, all of those impact how much and what they're going to give you. But if this brainwave signature holds up, doctors could eventually use it as a precise real-time indicator of whether you're truly unconscious, or the way I was when I was getting 4 wisdom teeth extracted and I woke up in the middle of surgery and adjust things automatically. In other words, instead of just watching the patient, they could watch your brain itself. That would, of course, lead to safer anesthesia, so you might not die like the lady in my office who was 40.
Michael Jackson?
She died having a bunion removed. Fewer complications and more consistent outcomes in the OR. Beyond surgery, this could also help people, scientists, understand one of the biggest questions in neuroscience. What is actually the difference between consciousness and unconsciousness? Fascinating.
Isn't that crazy? Like MIT, man.
Yeah, good for them.
We talked about this the other day, which is funny, right? We were talking about anesthesia, or yesterday, because the new Ayatollah, right? That was the proof that he was gay, was that he came out of anesthesia and was aggressively hitting on male nurses.
So funny.
obviously gay, Ted.
Yeah,
Obviously.
the only thing that's gay is the idea that they like thought we would believe that.
Like, okay, he's coming out of
It's propaganda. It's sort of like there's a very famous propaganda reel of Adolf Hitler during World War II. It's right after the fall of France, and he's giving a happy little jig, like celebrating, like look at me, I defeated France, and he's like, and what they did is the Western Allied propagandists created a loop. In reality, he's standing, he just steps back to let someone walk by. That's it.
Oh.
And then they rolled it so that he's going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. They thought it made him look silly.
Oh. That's corny, but I guess in that era.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, you go with the AI you have, not the AI you wish you had.
Yeah. Right. Well, so okay. So I'm as somebody that is really bad with anesthesia, like, well, I know the kind that works for me, like propofol, like the thing that killed Michael Jackson. That's the cleanest anesthesia for me. Mm-hmm. No, I know. But I have my own theories about the Michael Jackson thing. Anyway, that's another day.
No, you can't just like drop that.
Yes, no, it's too long. It's too long, but it's too long. But propofol is the newest like anesthetic, I think, of all the anesthesias. I think that's like the newest discovery or newest produced anesthesia. For me, that's actually like the best. Like when I had 2020 early 2025, I had my last colonoscopy. That was propofol and just a touch, just to put me in twilight. Mm-hmm. And I woke up without, I was out. Sorry, I wasn't in twilight. I was out. And you wake up an hour later. I didn't puke. I wasn't hungover for 2 or 3 days. All the other anesthesias that I've had over the years,
but I can't wake up. You were only twilighted. Don't you think that's what it was?
No. I was out. I was out. It was a mistake. Right. I was out. I was actually out. But I told him, you have to give me like a baby dose because I'm highly sensitive. I don't take any medications, right? Like I don't even take Tylenol. I don't take anything. Like I take herbal supplements and whatever. Like I do homeopathy. So I told him, I was like, every anesthetic makes me violently ill. If you don't want me to wake up and puke all over your recovery room, or after a colonoscopy, do even worse to your recovery room.
Yeah.
Please be mindful. I'm a small, thin woman, and I'm really bad with anesthesia. So he was like, I will give you a baby dose. Don't worry. He's a nice, fun Indian guy, and he joked with me and put me at ease.
Anesthesiologists, though, anesthesiology is like it's not really a science; it's an art, really.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, I'm glad you told me. I will give you a baby dose and we will see I will monitor how you do. And if I need to give you more, I'll give you more. He's like, but we'll start with baby dose.
And then I will bring you paratha.
He was so like, I loved his bedside manner. And those guys make bank, right? Because
it's a good job.
God, they make bank.
Although they can get the shit suit out of them too.
I know. And I think the Jackson family did that to the doctor that poisoned Michael Jackson. But anyway, and he's in prison. But my doctor, anesthesiologist, did great.
Doctor is anesthesiologist is in prison?
Yeah, he's the one that poisoned him. And that's how Mike died. From overdose of propofol. Like his heart stopped or something. Like that's how he died.
How did it rise to the level of prison though? I mean, you can make a mistake.
Because they gave him a lethal dose. And like you said, he got the shit suit out of him. Mm-hmm. And he was giving it to him outside of a medical treatment as a sedative. But when you're rich as shit like Michael Jackson was, you can have a private home doctor to
Yeah, for sure.
Do whatever you need. So that's how that guy's in prison. But anyway, this is like what a cool study out of MIT that they can see your brain, like how it shuts off from all these different
Well,
drugs.
that is fascinating. It's also fascinating that basically it kind of doesn't matter what they give you. It's the same no matter what. And the part
Same
that
outcome.
but the part that's also super interesting, Manila, is we live in an age when it seems like everything big has been discovered. And here's something really fundamental about the way human beings operate. Like, people pass out. Well, what's going on with them? I mean, I assume this would have all sorts of implications for perhaps epilepsy and other things, people who pass out from being dehydrated or whatever.
Mhm.
But the point is, it helps. This is human beings have watched each other pass out for hundreds of thousands of years. And now we're just figuring it out exactly like why. That's fucking
Right.
amazing.
Right. So, I wonder what else can come from this. But I mean, yeah, on its surface, it looks like it's an anesthesiology white paper, but really it's not. It's about fucking consciousness.
Yeah, it's about something really basic about our nature, about the way
And
we're
if you
wired.
it's not like, oh, she got Mickeyed or she had one too many to drink, or it's not just that. It's not just that. It's about actual consciousness. I
Right.
want people to let that sink in. Consciousness.
I mean, in a sense, it's almost like it's related closely to like, what does it really mean to be alive?
Right. This is like some philosophical shit. They're emerging on like this is like an emerging study on what the fuck it means. Like, what about the people in a coma? What about the people like
Right. Or people who are
a
suffering from
philosophical level?
really like far gone from dementia.
Yes. Like, what does it mean to be human? What does it
Mm-hmm.
mean to be conscious? What does it mean to be aware? What does
Mm-hmm.
it mean to be a person? And
Correct.
do if they put this on a chimp, would it our closest neighbor, our closest cousin, right? Like, is the chimp conscious or a dolphin? They're sentient, right? Or killer
Yeah.
whale, orcas. They're
Yeah.
sentient.
Sure.
This is like the
Or what about
precipice.
something we don't think about as being as sentient, like a lizard?
I mean, this study could it's just fascinating to me about what it can mean
Because we have a
for
tendency, Manila, to think
humankind.
that like we have a tendency as human beings to think that if we don't know what something is or we don't know what's going on, that there's nothing going on. Like for example,
Right.
when they mapped the human genome and they didn't know what big swaths of it were, and they're like, oh, that's just junk DNA. It doesn't mean
There's
anything.
nothing.
Now we know
No,
there's no such thing as junk DNA, right?
everything serves a purpose.
And it's like sort of like, what separates human beings from other animals? Oh, we're the only ones who can make and use tools. That's not true. All sorts of animals
No.
make and use tools.
Bonobos can fucking use tools.
I mean, there's insects like
Yes.
dung beetles can you make tools. So like the thing is, so what as we learn, basically there's more going on with everything. Like now we know that cats have a vocabulary of about 300 words, like which is more than most Republicans. So like there's just sort of like you're just learning more and more. It's like I think we're going to find out that like everything is smarter, bigger, cooler, more profound than we ever used to
Yeah.
think.
When I came across this MIT thing this morning, I was kind of like, this brought me back to my 20s where I was doing a little,
Like,
and I was like,
dude.
whoa. And I just thought about, I was like, I'm going to start reading again about like Freudian versus Jungian theory about existence. And like, this is the shit I learned in college, right? Where I hadn't thought about in like 25 years. And I'm like, oh my God, like the Jungian theory is it's all about collective consciousness, man. And what does that mean?
Dude.
Like, fuck Freud, he's backwards looking, like Jungian theory.
Like
Jungian theory.
Don't you feel like Freud's been rehabilitated though?
No, fuck Freud. Everything is about daddy issues or mommy issues and fucking. That's Freud. That's Freud in a nutshell. Jungian theory is more like the shit that you want to like light up a joint and be like, bro. Like Carl Jung says, we have a collective conscious that we all share at a meta level, man. It's like the cloud before the cloud.
See, I don't believe that. I think he's wrong about that.
I think that's a more interesting way of I think Freudian theory can be proven already to some level, but the Jungian theory, Carl Jung's theories, have yet to be proven, and I think that's what's more interesting.
Or maybe never will be because they may not be true.
But the possibility exists. Freudian theory,
any possibility
you can
exists,
shit on
right?
it or you can agree with it. Like, it can be proven, it can be disproven. The Jungian theory is out there of like collective consciousness, and that is what this MIT. When I read that this morning, I was like, "Fuck, man, whoa!" I was like 24 again, like, bro,
dude. Well, it is very cool.
Consciousness. What is it, man?
Yeah, I feel like I learned shit today. It's good.
That was cool. Robbie says one more ad. All right, let's pop it up and then we'll say goodbye. But I hope you guys enjoyed a weird Wednesday of news.
It feels like a Friday, doesn't it?
It does. I don't know. Winter is back over here in the DC area. I don't know about you.
Yeah, here too. Yeah.
We're 20 degrees today.
31 here.
We're colder than you?
That's weird. You guys are at 20?
Yeah, 25 this morning.
That's
it feels like.
That's wrong.
Let's do the ad, Robbie. If it's there, we'll do it and say goodbye. Oh, it's gone. Okay. We out. But I wonder if it was a weed ad.
Well, I hope so, because those probably should pay well.
Seriously, man, I was a proponent. I'm just saying. I've been there. I've seen the effects. I'm a proponent. I don't do it now. I haven't done it for a very, 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 very long time. But I'm a proponent at certain levels of use, not habitual. There was a new study that recently came out this week too about weed usage and how, oh God, I forget. No, I don't want to misrepresent the new study, but it was a new weed study that I was like, oh, okay. Don't smoke too much weed. Basically, was the takeaway.
Well, that's just sort of like good advice for everything. Don't
drink too much.
Of anything.
Don't eat too many Cheetos.
Don't do too much exercise. Don't drink too much water. You know.
That was the new study was like basically don't smoke too much weed.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously we know what happens when you do, you know.
So there you are. But anyway, this MIT thing, fucking cool, man. I felt like I was in my 20s again. And I was like, whoa, Jungian theory. Yeah, let's get back into it, man. Collective consciousness. We're all together. One collective conscious, Ted. If we can all get there, we'll get to peace on earth, man.
Indeed we will. Indeed we will.
Accept the collective consciousness, Ted.
Always.
Accept it.
I do. I would
Weird Wednesday, everybody. Adios.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.